The words hit me like a fist to the gut. I think the baby should have Ethan's name. Sarah's voice, soft and steady, sliced through the quiet of our kitchen, where the only sound had been the faint hum of the fridge. Her eyes, usually warm, darted to the floor, avoiding mine. I stood frozen, the coffee mug in my hand trembling, its warmth mocking the cold dread creeping up my spine. Ethan. Her ex. The man she swore was ancient history. My wife, 7 months pregnant with our child, had just cracked open a fault line in our marriage, and I didn't know if I was falling or already broken. The kitchen smelled of burnt toast and the lavender candles Sarah lit every morning, a ritual she clung to like a lifeline. I set the mug down, the clink against the counter too loud in the silence. What did you just say? My voice was low, fraying at the edges. I wanted her to take it back, to laugh it off as a sleep-deprived slip. But her shoulders stiffened, and she wrapped her arms around her swollen belly, as if shielding the baby from what was coming. I think it would mean a lot to him, she said, her words careful, like she was stepping around glass. Ethan's been through so much, and he's been there for me, for us, more than you know. Her gaze flickered to mine, then away again, and that fleeting avoidance was a splinter under my skin. What did she mean, more than you know? My mind raced, replaying months of late-night phone calls she dismissed as just catching up, and the way she'd linger at the door when Ethan dropped by, his easy grin masking something I couldn't name. I forced a laugh, brittle and wrong. Sarah, this is our kid. Ours. Not his. My chest tightened, a cocktail of confusion and anger bubbling up. I wanted to grab her, to shake the truth out, but the sight of her, pregnant, vulnerable, her auburn hair spilling over one shoulder, kept me rooted. Love and suspicion wrestled in my gut. Was she joking? Was this some hormonal whim? Or was there something darker, something I'd been too blind to see? She sighed, a sound heavy with guilt or exhaustion. I couldn't tell which. I know it sounds strange, Jake, but Ethan's been a friend. He's helped me through things. Her voice cracked, and she turned to the sink, busying herself with a sponge. The faucet dripped, a steady plink-plink that matched the pulse pounding in my ears. I thought of the past year. Her late shifts at the gallery, the weekends she spent at her sister's, the way her laughter had grown scarce, like a song fading out. I'd chalked it up to pregnancy stress, to the weight of impending parenthood. But now, each memory felt like a breadcrumb leading somewhere I didn't want to go. Helped you how? I asked, stepping closer. The linoleum was cold under my bare feet, and the morning light slanted through the window, catching the dust motes swirling between us. She didn't answer, just scrubbed harder at a non-existent stain. My heart thudded, each beat a question. What are you hiding? I thought of Ethan's name in her phone, the text I'd glimpsed but never read, the ones she deleted when she thought I wasn't looking. I'd trusted her. I'd trusted us. But trust is a fragile thing, and hers was starting to feel like a lie. Sarah, look at me. My voice was sharper now, cutting through the haze. She turned, her eyes glassy, her lips pressed tight. Why his name? Why now? I hated how desperate I sounded, how the room seemed to shrink around us, the walls closing in with every unspoken word. She opened her mouth, then closed it, like the truth was too heavy to lift. The silence was unbearable, a living thing pressing against my ribs. He's been there when I needed someone, she whispered finally, her voice barely audible over the faucet's drip. When you were working late, when I was scared about the baby, about us. Ethan listened. Her words were a blade, twisting deeper with every syllable. I saw it then, the late nights I'd spent at the office, chasing deadlines, thinking I was building a future for us. Had I left her alone too long? Had I pushed her toward him? Or was this her choice, her betrayal, plain and simple? I sank into a chair, the wood creaking under my weight. What are you saying, Sarah? My mind spun, conjuring images I didn't want. Her and Ethan, their laughter, their touches, their secrets. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but fear held me back. What if the baby wasn't mine? The thought was a poison, seeping into every corner of my mind, tainting every memory of her smile, her touch, the life we'd planned. She crossed the room, her hand reaching for mine, but I pulled back, the motion instinctive. Hurt flashed across her face, but I couldn't care, not yet. Jake, It's not what you think, she said, her voice trembling. I love you. I do. But Ethan, he's part of my past, and he's been here helping me process things. I owe him. Owe him? The words were a slap. What did she owe him, and why did it involve our child's name? Process what? I snapped, standing now, my hands clenched. The kitchen felt too small, the air too thick. What aren't you telling me? Her silence was an answer, a confirmation of the dread pooling in my gut. I thought of the ultrasound photos on the fridge, the ones we'd cried over together, dreaming of our future. Were those dreams hers, or hers and Ethan's? She took a breath, her hands cradling her belly. Last year, when I lost the first pregnancy, I didn't tell you everything. Her voice broke, and my heart stopped. A miscarriage? She'd never mentioned it. I'd thought we shared everything, but here was a secret, a wound she'd kept hidden. Ethan was there. He held me when I couldn't stop crying. You were at that conference, and I didn't want to burden you. The room spun. A miscarriage. A secret. Ethan. Each revelation was a brick, building a wall between us. I wanted to feel for her, to ache for her loss, but anger was louder. You went to him instead of me? My voice was raw, shaking. And now you want our baby, to carry his name? Her tears fell now, silent and steady. It's not about him, Jake. It's about me. About honoring what got me through. But her words felt like a lie, a half-truth masking something uglier. I stepped back, the distance between us a chasm. My eyes caught the lavender candle, its flame flickering nearly out. Like us. Then she said it, the words that shattered everything. I don't know if the baby's yours. Her voice was a whisper, but it roared in my ears, drowning out the world. Time stopped. The kitchen, the candle, the drip of the faucet, all of it faded. I stared at her, at the woman I loved, and saw a stranger. My knees buckled, but I stayed upright, clinging to the edge of the counter. The truth was out, raw and bleeding, and there was no going back. Yet in that moment, a twisted clarity hit me. I loved her. Even now, with my world crumbling, I loved her. But love wasn't enough, not anymore. I grabbed my keys, my voice barely a whisper. I need time. As I walked out, the door's slam echoed like a gunshot, and I wondered if I was leaving her, or the lie we'd both been living.